Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if President Trump has not forgotten the names of those that sought to weaponize the Justice Department against him. You see, as you might have heard, Donald Trump has been reelected and is about to be sworn in again as president. And on top of all of that, pretty much all of his legal troubles have now disappeared or been tossed out altogether. Now, some of you might remember a guy named Jack Smith. He's the guy that led the investigations into Trump for keeping a hold of the alleged classified documents after he left the White House. Remember when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago? Yeah, Jack Smith sent them. And on top of that, Jack Smith also pioneered the 2020 election interference case against Trump, in which he tried to argue that Trump was responsible for inciting an insurrection and tried to overthrow the US government. So yeah, this guy's not the biggest fan of Trump, to say the least. In fact, he's actually done everything he possibly could to try to get Trump inside of a prison cell. But of course, as we all know, the real point behind all of these legal theatrics was really just to try to stop Trump from becoming president again. That was their worst nightmare, and that's what all of this was really about. Well, guess what? They failed, and Trump is about to be inaugurated again. Okay, but so what happens to Jack Smith now? Well, I'll tell you what, Donald Trump has very clearly not forgotten about him. In fact, take a look at what Trump's attorney recently had to say about him.
I think that probably there are many scared, there are thousands of scared people at the DOJ. According to many reports, they're literally shaking in fear, living in a salt mine of tears. Yeah. But this has got to be the scariest for Jack Smith. Now, you've been at war with Jack Smith for quite a while. You've stared down Jack Smith. Jack Smith is now scurrying like a rat. He's not going to give Trump an opportunity to fire him, as you've predicted on this program. He's going to resign. Your message to Jack Smith?
Bye. Bye. We're not done with him, because I'll tell you what now, what he did, $50 million of taxpayer dollars. When I say we, I mean the American people. You can't resign and hide from what you did. You cannot. And, for these people that are real tough guys, you're running real quick. And that tells me that we were right. We were right. Yeah. Every time someone said, I was wrong, she's so stupid, she doesn't know what she's talking about, and I'm screaming on the courtroom stairs, I don't look so wrong right now. Because if you have nothing to hide, where are you going?
And so now Jack Smith has resigned in disgrace after wasting $50 million of taxpayer money to criminally pursue Trump on bogus charges. And after all of that, every single charge he was attempting to bring against Trump has now been tossed out. Imagine that. But now, as Alina Habba said, who was Trump's attorney and now presidential counsel, by the way, they have not forgotten about him. He doesn't get to weaponize the justice system, waste $50 million of taxpayer money, that's our money, and then just resign in peace and hang out all day when his corrupt plan doesn't work out. I mean, keep in mind, it wasn't even that long ago, just around 6 months ago, in fact, that Jack Smith's legal team admitted in court that they tampered with evidence in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. So yeah, he doesn't just get to ride off into the sunset and have a happy ending. This isn't going to work that way. Justice will be brought, just not in the way that he had initially imagined. But anyways, moving on, then we have another guy, Michael Cohen. You might remember him. You see, Michael Cohen was actually Trump's attorney for over a decade, but Trump didn't give him the exact job he wanted in his 2017 administration. So what did he do? He betrayed Trump by lying in front of Congress, saying that Trump ordered him to make secret hush money payments in order to swing the 2016 election. Then, on top of that, he actually testified against Trump just a few months ago in the New York City hush money case as well, with Trump's defense absolutely destroying his credibility, by the way, making him look like an insane stalker ex-girlfriend. Also, quick side note, what was the outcome of that New York City hush money case? Oh yeah, that's right, Trump's complete and total unconditional discharge. Guess what? It was a complete and total waste of time and taxpayer money. But hey, you know what isn't a waste of time? Subscribing to this channel if you enjoy the videos. I have to say, over the last couple days, there's been some weird stuff going on with the YouTube algorithm and conservative commentary channels like this. So hey, I really need all the support I can get. But okay, so what's going on with Michael Cohen now that all of these bogus charges have fallen flat and Trump is about to get back in the White House? Well, take a look at this.
Regarding the pardon, yeah, I put in the application for a presidential pardon because I believe that Joe Biden has the same responsibility to me that he had to his own son. And I would expect that the same exact pardon that he gave his son has to go to me and to anybody else that's on that enemies list, whether they want it or not. Because I assure you, solitary confinement where I did 51 days sucks.
That's right. After flipping on Trump a couple years ago because he didn't get the exact job that he wanted in Trump's 2017 administration, now he's in front of Biden begging for a presidential pardon before he leaves the White House. This guy is an absolute snake. And now, in Joe Biden's defense, part of me sort of understands why he would pardon his own son, although I still think it's insanely corrupt. But this guy, Michael Cohen, is a nobody. Why does he think Biden cares about him? He's a 100% backstabber, and not even an effective one at that. He couldn't even do that right. But so really, guys, if Trump does actually decide to criminally pursue guys like Michael Cohen and Jack Smith, can you really blame him? These two guys, and many others by the way, have done everything they possibly could to take advantage of the justice system, weaponizing it to bring down Trump, really to stop him from getting back into the White House. Because I think we all know that to the people writing checks to these guys, Michael Cohen and Jack Smith, there is nothing scarier than a second Trump presidential term. I mean, hey, they barely survived the first one. And by the way, you already know how the left-wing media is going to try to spin it if Trump does decide to try to hold these guys accountable. The President of the United States of America is abusing his power to punish his political rivals. He's literally a fascist, just like Hitler. Yeah, spare me. No one is buying it. We've all watched for almost a decade now as the entire left-wing media establishment and deep state swamp apparatus has come crashing down on Trump every single step of the way. They tried every single thing they possibly could do to shut this guy down, and by extension to shut down the MAGA movement. That's us. They didn't want our voices to be heard. But guess what? They failed. And so honestly, between you and me, I hope he does hold these people accountable. I think a message needs to be sent that you don't get to weaponize the justice system to punish your political rivals and get away with it. And also, you don't get to waste tens of millions of dollars worth of taxpayer money to try to do it. We all don't pay taxes to subsidize their political corruption. That's not how this works. And now I know there's some merit to turning the other cheek and showing forgiveness to your enemy, but when these people are so corrupt that they're willing to abuse our country's legal system to tear down their political rivals in an effort to maintain power, something has got to be done about it. This type of behavior really just can't be tolerated, and they do need to face the consequences of their actions, in this case after a thorough investigation and a date with a jury of their peers. Because I'll tell you what, if a clear message isn't sent and these people aren't ever held accountable for these types of politically motivated legal attacks, then what's stopping them from doing it again in the future? Nothing. They'll just keep on doing it. But hey, I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Let's hope we finally get some justice soon, and when I say justice, I mean real justice and not corruption. So on this one, I want to know what you guys have to say, so please go down below and drop a comment. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. Like I said, it's huge and it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching, and as always, stay safe.